not be afraid. Our table topics master will ask you if you would like to participate in the session, but you are not required to participate in the impromptu session. The last part of our meeting is the evaluations part of our meeting. Each person that gave a prepared speech will receive a written and an oral evaluation by their fellow Toastmasters members. In the evaluation, they will learn what they did well, one or two things to improve upon, and encouragement to keep improving. So that is the pie of our meeting. In that evaluation, we also have the dreaded grammarian counter. Who counts every so, but, okay, you know, and like that we use as we're speaking. And it's not to be rough on us. It is to let us know what we are saying in our daily vocabulary to help us improve. My job today is the Toastmaster of the meeting, which is to, let me try that again. My job today is as the presiding officer of the meeting, to open the meeting, to handle any business. And then I will introduce the meeting Toastmaster to continue with the meeting. Do we have any club business that needs to be discussed? Just a reminder, we will not be meeting on December the 19th, the 26th, or January the 2nd to celebrate our holidays, Christmas holidays, or Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa, or whatever holiday you have with your families, and not to be worried about having to go back and forth to a Toastmaster meeting during that time period. Now, it is my great pleasure to get away from this lecture and introduce our Toastmaster of the day. Our Toastmaster Day has only been a Toastmaster with us for a very short time. And I believe this is your first time being meeting Toastmaster. So we're going to take it easy on her, and we're going to be really nice. Please help me welcome Grace Grant.
Well, I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Spend some time with friends and family, and eat a little bit of turkey. Hopefully take a little bit of nap after eating some turkey. I'd like to introduce our joke or thought or word of the day person today, which is going to be like dogs.
I'm over here. You don't have to clap, that's okay. Well, there's a lot. I was telling some of these wonderful Toastmasters that there's all these words have been popping off the top of my head. And one was humdrum, and one was humdinger. Humdinger that's a good way of saying this is a humdinger of a club. I really like this club. But I was going to start to write that out. I thought, well, here's another word, humdrum. Humdrum. This is what we don't want to do in this club. And humdrum is dull or monotonous. And that's the last thing we want to be, is dull or monotonous. And so then I'm also supposed to give a thought of the day, and I've got bunches of them here. I'll read a few of them. In this book, if you absolutely forget about what's going on, and you say, I don't have a thought for the day, the book is here. So I don't have a thought for the day. Anyway, so number one, never give up on anybody. Miracles happen every day. Next one, don't waste time learning the tricks of the trade. Instead, learn the trade. Keep a sharp and tight rein on your temper. And I have this one. If you are presented in an area where you want to tell the person in no uncertain terms, shut up, listen, politely excuse yourself, and walk away. There's always a tendency to go, I'm right and you're wrong, and I'm going to tell you in no uncertain terms. So just shut up and walk away. I like this one. Always put the cap back on the toothpaste. I had it, but squeeze it from the bottom toward the top. Okay. Take the garbage out without being told. That's something that kids, but say that out without being told. I'm single and I live in an apartment and nobody takes it out but me, so there I have no excuses. This is one I like. Surprise loved ones with a little unexpected gift. I hope that those four have done some things in your mind to think about. So without any more of me, I'm going to have Grace come back. Grace, where'd you go? There you are, Grace.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Step in for our timer, please.
Oh, I thought we had time. Okay.
So I'd like to introduce the different facilitators for this evening. Tonight, we have Rod Perkins taking on the role of the odd counter and grammarian. Rod, would you like to stand and tell us a little bit about
Yes.
what you're going to be doing?
I'll be monitoring the ahs and ums and so's and buts and other connecting words that we use so that our speech is more clear. I will also be counting the word of the day when that's being used, which is humdrum. Also, I'll be counting any repeats that may be done. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Toastmaster.
And our timer today will be Jim, but Jim is,
It's the same guy that was just up there.
so you're going to be taking on
Yeah.
that role as well tonight.
I volunteered.
Yeah.
I actually was volunteered. I forgot to say that in there. Now, my question is, and this is for anybody who wants to answer it, who is going to be speaking this evening? I know Tony is, but Milton's not here and Jen is not here.
Does anyone have a speech that they would like to give tonight?
I'm kidding.
Then I will give a speech.
Ugh.
Well, you know that I never get on the agenda. I always fill in when someone doesn't show. But I was trying to make sure that everybody else had that opportunity.
Thank
That means
you.
we have one more opening.
So I guess we will only have two. And by the way, Tony's name is Tony, not Toni. All right? Tony, you're going to give an icebreaker, and that's 4 to 6 minutes.
It'll be longer than that.
It will? Well, it's been nice knowing you, pal. It's 4 to 6 minutes, so,
You'll see a lot of red.
all right, well, how many hours do you want to speak to us?
Well, since there's no other speakers, I can go all night, right?
Well, yes, I have to time you
Can you
with
give
a,
us a framework with your judgment?
with
15 minutes.
oh, no, we can't do 15.
12?
Well, he's gotta fill his
Hey, you gotta do it. Why not?
Could we do it about maybe 7 or 8 minutes? Could we do that?
Sure.
Okay. All right, so at the end of 6 minutes, you'll get a green light. At the end of 7, you'll get a yellow, and when you should quit, you get the red light. And we're not gonna do anything to you. We won't boo, we won't hiss. We'll just all walk out like you just keep talking up there if you want to. And Rhonda, do you need 7 minutes, ma'am?
Yes, 5 to 7, please.
5 to 7. At the end of 5, she'll get a green. At the end of 6, she'll get the yellow, and at the end of 7, she'll get the red. Now, when it comes to table topics, and it comes to the evaluators get from 2 to 3 minutes, so at the end of 2, you'll get a green. At the end of 2.5, you'll get the yellow, and at the end of 3, you'll get the red. Okay, and when it comes to the table topic speakers, that's only 2 minutes. And at the end of 1, you'll get a green. At the end of 1.5, you'll get the yellow, and then you'll get the red at 2 minutes. Madam Toastmaster.
Tonight. Okay, now we also have a general evaluator, and tonight that will be Dennis. Dennis, can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing for our newcomers?
Yes, ma'am. What I will be doing as a general evaluator, will be calling on both Rod and Mike to give their grammarian and their timer reports. And then I will give a brief synopsis of the meeting, what we maybe did well or what we could have improved on at the end of that time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Juan is not here tonight, so we will have LaShawn fill in as topics master. Can we please stand and tell us what you'll be doing here as topics master?
Yes, as your table topics master, I will be engaging the crowd in a diverse group of mix of questions. So I will call upon guests. I will also call upon people who will not be giving speeches to answer various questions, just so that we all can kind of practice our communication skills and get involved into the meeting.
Thank you very much. This will be LaShawn's first time being topics master.
Yes.
So we're very excited about that. Afterwards, we are going to have our prepared speakers. So I'd like to, with no further ado, introduce our first speaker. Tony, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Just a quick question, who will I be evaluating?
I need an evaluator.
You will be evaluating.
I'm not currently evaluating Rhonda.
I think that you're evaluating, I think LaShawn is gonna evaluate Rhonda and you might have a miss for this evening. Is that right? Because we only have 2 speakers overall.
So,
Doris is gonna evaluate Tony with a Y, and Nick will evaluate me.
Nick's
I
gonna
will give him my
okay.
book in just a minute.
I gotcha. All right, well, thank you very much. Tony.
Madam Toastmaster. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So I'm going to start off with talking about how humdrum my life is. Word today, right? I love that, Mike. Thanks for choosing that word. So imagine a small town in Indiana. This town is, from end to end, is about a mile. Okay? The downtown part of it is maybe 4 blocks. It's got a bank, grocery store, bakery, 5 and dime store. You guys know what a 5 and dime is? Okay. The older ones. Library, and it's got a camera shop. Now, back then, you're probably wondering what a camera shop is if you're young. Back then, there was only black and white film. There was no color film yet. And so my grandparents owned the camera shop downtown. And they sold Kodak cameras, and they sold film and flash bulbs. Back then, you had to buy a bulb and literally plug it into the camera. When you push the button with the flash on, it flashed. Now it's automatic in our cell phones these days. The other thing that my grandparents had, when you wanted to get your film developed, they had a developing room in the back, dark room, and a large, it looked like, I don't know, it was like 10 feet long and 4 feet wide, and it was full of chemicals, and that dark room and those chemicals is how they developed film for the folks that lived in town. So you took, especially after Christmas, they were really busy, because everybody wanted to get their film developed right away, and so they were always busy during the holidays developing film, and then they'd come back and pick up their friends. Now, obviously, that business model is outdated now, so we don't have those anymore, but that was very important back then. So if you were to drive or walk through town, typically you would see kids walking down the sidewalk, riding their bikes. You might see a basketball game going on, a pickup game to kids in a driveway. If you went by an open field, you might see a baseball game or a football game. And we had organized sports too, but this was just kids getting together and playing. So next to our house, we had the chief of police and his family lived next to our house. So they had 3 boys and a girl, and they were close to our age, so we did a lot of sports with them. 2 houses down, we had the Bucks, 2 boys, one was my age and one was my brother's age, my younger brother. So we were constantly doing pickup games. One of the things that I remember about the town is the newspaper called it Small Town USA. So the main point I want to make about our town was it was safe. I could ride my bike to town and back and not worry about, my parents didn't worry about me. We don't do that these days. I don't let my kids just ride their bikes, out of the neighborhood. We have to keep an eye on them. Back then you could. Now, our house was at the southern end of town. And the population of the town's only like 5,000 people, so it's a small town. Our house was at the southern end. Wasn't a big house. Most houses in this town were probably 900 to 1,000 square feet. Not big, not wealthy at all. Our house was probably 900 square feet, but we did have a full basement. So us kids would go down there. I had 2 younger brothers and my friends. We'd go down there. And over the years, my parents, we got a ping pong table and a pool table, so we had a lot of fun downstairs. That was where we hung out. We weren't outside. You guys remember the movie Hoosiers, those of you that have seen that movie?
Yep.
Okay, it's about Indiana basketball. So the reason I'm telling you this is there's a scene in there where the star, Jimmy, is dribbling a basketball out on the farm, and there's this basketball goal up in the middle of nowhere, near the barn, but just a post and a goal. And he would shoot, and pick up his dribble and shoot, just over and over again, practice. Well, we had one of those basketball goals in our backyard. We loved playing basketball, and so my dad finally, I don't know, I was probably 9 or 10. No, I was probably 12. He brought home 2 4x4 posts that were probably 10 feet long, 12 feet probably, sheet of plywood and basketball goal, and he took those posts and bolted that piece of plywood to the post and put the goal on there and dug 2 holes and stuck them in the ground, and that was our basketball goal. In the middle of the backyard. We didn't have any asphalt or cement, it was the dirt or the grass. And if we played enough, we wore out the grass and it was just dirt. And we did play a lot out there. We also in the backyard, our backyard joined with our neighbor's backyard where the chief of police lived. And so it was really one big backyard, and we'd play wiffle ball back there. So the wiffle ball is a plastic ball with holes in it. So when you throw it, the wind goes through it and it can curve, and you hit it with a plastic bat. So it's basically baseball, but in a smaller space. And we played hours and hours of that back there too. In fact, we had to tape the wiffle balls quite often because we'd wear them out in 3 or 4 days. We hit them so many times, and we'd have them taped up with duct tape until they finally just broke apart and we couldn't do it again. We had to buy new one. But those are some of my memories at home. We also, in the backyard, and I'm making this house sound like this awesome place. It really wasn't any big deal. It was just kind of cool things that we could do there. We had a creek through our backyard. And that's why when we moved from the rental house to this house, that was like, it was like a mansion to me because I love to fish. So that creek was awesome. I could fish every night if I wanted to, and my brothers as well. So, and occasionally in the summertime, our parents would allow us to camp out here in the creek. And it's funny because the neighbors, they would pretend they'd go out there and smoke. Honestly, I didn't smoke, but they would go out there and smoke like nobody could see them. And the parents were literally 200 feet away. They'd look out the window and, oh, Don's smoking, Rob's smoking. They didn't say anything. But they thought they were being sneaky because their parents could see them. But every once in a while, we'd get bored. And I remember one time, we got bored, and so we decided, we took all these pop bottles, and we went up the main street, Harrison Street, and we lined up pop bottles along the street, both lanes. We went back in the field, and we hid in the tall weeds, waiting for a car to come by.
Oh boy.
Sure enough, the car came by. It's the pop bottles, glasses going everywhere, and we're like, wow. Laying in the grass. And of course, they get out and they're looking around like, what happened? They move the bottles out of the way and they go on. So we go out there and we're like, all right, let's get some more bottles. This is fun. So put some more bottles out there. And so pretty soon another car comes. This time it was the police. So they come out and they're looking around and they're like, they know it's probably kids, right? And we're hiding probably 300 feet away in the tall weeds. We're laying down there. And they get this spotlight out and they're looking all around. And I mean, we're not moving an inch. We're like trying to get as low to the ground as possible because we don't want the police to catch us and get in trouble. Our parents had no idea what So, anyhow, we got really lucky. If they did see us, they didn't do anything about it. I don't think they did. There was like 4 of us out there. We were just hiding as best we could. So we decided that's probably not a good idea to keep doing that. So we didn't do that again. When I was 12, I got my first job. So this job was delivering newspapers. Now this was the morning paper. So this was the Anderson Herald. And it was the town next to us. They printed the paper. And it was a great job. The problem was you got to get up at 4 a.m. in the morning to deliver the morning paper. So when I was 12, I started getting up at 4 a.m. every morning. Me and my brother would get dressed, we'd walk to the front door, open it up, and there's a stack of 80 newspapers that we deliver on our end of the town. So he took 40 and I took 40. And we bought bikes when we got this paper out. And we had these baskets on the bike. So we would divide the papers into 2 baskets and go deliver newspapers. It took us about 45 minutes to an hour to deliver these newspapers. Get home and usually I'd eat a bowl of cereal for breakfast, and then I had about an hour to go back to sleep, get a little bit more sleep, and then I'd get up and go to school, which was just down the road. I'd walk to school. It was interesting sometimes. The one thing I didn't like about delivering newspapers was Sundays. Anybody know why I didn't like Sundays? Very big newspapers, lots of ads. Hated Sundays. I like to go to church on Sunday, did not deliver newspapers on Sundays. So on Sundays, they wouldn't fit in the baskets because they're too thick. So we'd either have to take 2 trips, or we'd have to put a bag over, like a backpack, and put them on there. And I was glad to get rid of those. That was the toughest day. But the good news was Monday there was no paper, so we were allowed to have that day off. So when after I got done delivering newspapers, my next job was I was a grocery sacker at the local grocery store. Now, Fridays and Saturdays were always busy at the grocery store because everybody went to this grocery store. And it was the most popular store in town. We went on the highway too, but nobody went there. Everybody went to Cox's supermarket. And the reason they all went on Fridays and Saturdays, well, first of all, they're probably out of groceries, but mostly it's because they got paid on Fridays.
1 minute left.
1 minute left, okay. That ain't gonna happen. At any rate, that was my job in high school. Then I went to, when I decided I knew I was gonna go to college. And the next dilemma was what college to choose. And I remember I had narrowed down to 2 colleges. One was Purdue University, which is a state school. And then the other one was called Tri-State University, which was a private school up in northern Indiana. I visited Tri-State first, and I liked it because it was a small college. The student-to-teacher ratio was very small. I knew I'd get a great education. The problem is private schools are much more expensive, as we all know. And my parents hadn't saved money for college, so the sticker shock was amazing, and I think it just freaked them out, honestly. So I ended up going to Purdue, ended up getting an engineering degree at Purdue. You know, back then, you'll be shocked if I tell you how much it cost to do engineering back then, to get a degree back then. It was $435 a semester, okay, not a credit hour, a semester. And I could take as many credit hours as I wanted. You know what I'm talking about. So it was still expensive in those dollars, but compared to today, the inflation rate of college is out of control. I am married. I have 4 children. I have 2 boys and 2 girls. My first marriage lasted 7 years. This marriage is 26 years next week.
Excellent.
The moral of that is I chose the wrong girl the first time, and I chose the correct one the second time. Are you telling me I'm done?
You're done.
All right.
You have plenty
Thank
of
you, Mrs.
information for the next speaker.
I
Madam
hope that we
Toastmaster.
have a second opportunity soon to hear part 2.
All right.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
there's
much.
another page here.
Everybody give the board Rhonda Green will be making a presentation from the Advanced Communication and Digital Storytelling Project number 3. And her title for this is going to be the moral of the story, or the subject for that is the moral of the story, and her title is the procrastinator. 5 to 7 minutes. Everyone welcome Rhonda.
I feel like that on the side. Fellow friends, welcome guests and Toastmasters. The procrastinator. This story has 2 parts. It's a story of a young lady who experienced life and was a procrastinator. She did not learn her lessons from that occasion, and she is still a procrastinator this day. My daughter, born in 1977, the same year as Mike. My father had, as Mike's daughter, not as Mike, as Mike's son, not Mike. I was not planning on speaking today, so y'all have to have some faith with
Some
me. It's
grace.
gonna be a good story. Just give me a minute. My daughter is smart. She is so smart it makes me sick. Really. She scored in the high 180s when they did the IQ testing. And because she's so smart, she can do anything. She can go sit down with somebody on the computer and learn how to do their jobs like that. The problem is she gets bored so quickly. My father was a very strong man. We had never seen my father ill a single day in his life. All of a sudden, when my mother came down with cancer and heart failure, my father started falling. His mind could not take it, and it caused him to have a bunch of mini strokes. Well, within a period of 6 or 7 months, I worked nights, but I would go and I'd visit my father at different times of the day. I told my daughter, I said, go visit your grandpa. My grandpa, her grandpa, had raised her for the first 3 years of her life so that I could get my degree in engineering also. So to me, it was Daddy. To her, it was Robert. She could call him by his first name, but I could not. You know how grandparents are. They allow their grandchildren to do those things. And so she says, okay, Mom, I'm gonna go visit Daddy. I'm gonna go visit my grandpa. She did not go. He died at 2 a.m. the next morning, and she did not go. And my daughter said, if I had only known, if I had only known. She said, I went, Mama, but he was asleep and I did not wake him up. She said, if I had only known he was not going to be there, I would have woke him up. My daughter, the procrastinator. About a month ago, my daughter called me on the phone. When I say she's a procrastinator, it's the truth. She'll drive a car and not get insurance because she forgets to get insurance. It's such a minor topic to her that she doesn't think about it. So she called me on the phone. She said, Mama, I need some money. And as mothers-in-law, I said, what for this time? Because it wasn't the first time she had hit my pocket. She said, well, Mother, I was driving the car. I got stopped. I didn't have insurance. They pulled over. They gave me a ticket, and they took the car. She said, I need money for a down payment on the insurance, the storage fees, and then a wrecker. Because since I did not have insurance, a wrecker has to drive the car off the lot. I sent my daughter $350, right? I said, okay. 2 weeks later, I took a trip and went on a cruise. I went to Belize and Mahogany Bay and Cancun and had a wonderful time. I don't live in Texas, I live in Oklahoma. I only go there maybe 3 times of the year. So when we came back from the cruise, I had to stop in Dallas. I called my daughter on the phone and said, where are you? I'd like to come and visit my grandson for just a few minutes. She says, well, I'm in Arlington at a party. I said, well, where are you in Arlington? And this is when she pissed me off. She took my grandson someplace and she did not have the address of where she was. Now, as an adult and as a parent, you don't take your child any place they have no business being. But on this phone, and we had other people in the car, she kept giving me excuses for why she couldn't tell me where she was. I proceeded to disconnect the call. I have learned sometimes just hang up. Instead of going off, telling them what for, and just hang up the phone. Well, as most of you know who heard, that next day, I was in a catastrophic accident. When I hit that deer, I am lucky to be here today. very lucky to be here today. And all my daughter could say to me was, Mama, if I had known, I would have made sure that I saw you while you were in town. Mama, I didn't know something might happen to you. So take this lesson from the procrastinator. Nobody knows what is going to happen the next day. Life, breath, is not promised to any of us. We never know what's going to happen in that next minute. So if there is somebody you love, tell them you love them today. If there's somebody that you're thinking about that you hadn't spoken to a while, send them a text message. Get on the phone. It's free long distance nowadays. There's no excuse. Because tomorrow, you may not be here, or they may not be here either. The procrastinator, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Rhonda.
Short story.
What a great reminder that we all need, that we should never take anything for granted and every day is special. That wraps up our speakers for tonight, a little bit shorter than normal. And so I'd like to next move into Topics Masters. Preparations. LaShawn, will you please join us and lead us in topics? Sure.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Tonight, I'm the Tulsa Toastmasters Topics Master. So tonight I'll be asking a series of questions. Now, I didn't catch everyone's name in the beginning when we went around and introduced some of the guests. So I'm gonna just kind of go around the room. I'll start here with the gentleman in the burgundy shirt. The first question I want to ask is, what is something you've been procrastinating about that you've decided that you will no longer do after hearing Rhonda's speech tonight? Yes, please. I'm a gentleman.
I am Jeff Lowen.
Gentleman.
Yes. Good evening, very distinguished Toastmasters. So the question is, what will I stop doing
Yeah.
to procrastinate? Interesting question, given that I'm here tonight. What will I stop doing? Simple. Just things I need to do for my health. It's really simple. The decision is change or die. It's really what it comes down to. Scary thought, isn't it? You know, I've been fortunate in my life, and things have changed, and that's why I'm here. So that's what I hope to change in the upcoming months. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you so much. And the second question I would like to ask is, I'm going to ask it to the young lady in the turquoise shirt. I believe her name is Anna.
Annie.
Annie?
Emma.
Yes. Sorry. The question I have for you is, when was the last time you tried something new? And when are you going to prepare to do something new? Like when are you going to?
Oh, I have to think a little bit about it. Before I didn't like travel at all. I think traveling is just waste of money, waste of time, and you go there and you spend wasting, and then you go home, you're not resting, and then go back to work. So it seemed like not relaxing at all. But then my sister is a traveler. I mean, she loves traveling, and she talked me into it. And then last year, I decided to give it a try, and I went to Canada. And then I like it. Yeah, it's opened my world, and I learned new culture, new people. Not like just a short trip, not like deep learning, but still. And I would like to do it again.
So what was I want to have a follow-up question. What was the best thing that you experienced when you were in Canada? What was like that life-changing experience?
We just basically do sightseeing and just learn from different regions. So
Is there anything that you would recommend that we see if we ever go to Canada? What one of the things you would recommend?
I mean, I went to during the time it was hot, so it's not like pretty there.
Yes.
And I went to Toronto. I thought like before I go, I checked with several of my friends who was there before, and they said, oh, Canada is very nice, Canadian is very nice with people, but it didn't happen to me. So I went to Toronto, and people there seem rude, and they cause us. So I don't know if it's just a certain people or it's regional, or if you go to a small town, it's gonna be different, but it's unique experience. So, yes, and capital of Canada is very pretty.
So the capital is like one of the go-to places that we should
Yes.
see. Perfect.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. And this next question is gonna go to the lady in the gray coat.
Emma.
This question I have for you tonight is, what gets you excited about life? You know, life can be, you know, a lot of different things, and sometimes we get, let the media influence us and things that are happening around us, but what gets you excited to live?
Wow, that's a question. I think for me, it's basically knowing that you don't know what is around the corner, which is kind of what she was talking about earlier with the procrastination thing, and to take life, just be grateful for every moment. For me, what gets me excited about life is the fact that I even have the opportunity to do things that other people might not be able to do. Like, I can go to college if I want to, or I can actually work. Even though I may not be the best at things like schoolwork, I at least get the chance to do it. So that's what gets me excited, just the little things.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Mr. Rod Perkins, I have a quick question for you. What would you do differently if you didn't know, if you knew nobody would judge you? So what would you do differently if you knew no one would judge you if you did it?
Well, thank you very much for that question, Toastmaster. Mistress. What would I do if no one were to judge me? That's thinking outside the box that I'm not used to. I always think of myself as a Boy Scout that wouldn't do anything that, well, I have absolutely no idea what I would do. I never thought of I always thought that I'd always be judged. And that's typically what happens to us in society today, is we're very harshly judged. I guess I would have to be out there alone, maybe out in the woods someplace. What would I do? Well, if I had to go to the bathroom, I'd probably go to the bathroom by myself. Nobody would judge me there. That's a kind of a guy thing. I mean, that's the only time I'm not judged, is I'd have to be alone in the woods. That's about all I can think of. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My next question goes to Mr. Maxwell. What activity do you lose track doing? Like, you know, we all have those exciting things that we don't even care about the time. We don't watch the time. It's like, I'm living right now. What is that activity for you?
Thank you for that question. What activities allow me to lose track of time? I've spoken before about running. Running is a passion of mine. I run every day. And there are times that I lose track, but I think my answer to your question would be, I'm a certified diver. And I don't get to dive very often, but when I do, a one-tank dive is 45 minutes to an hour. And you get to see a lot within an hour. You're drifting along a coral reef, and there's a lot to take in. But it seems like you just get started, and you look down and you're low on air, or it's time to come up. So I think diving along a reef would be the thing that would cause the time to go by quickest. Thank you.
Thank you. And our next question goes to Mr. Daniel. This question would be, let's see, a good one, let's see.
An easy one.